We are live. What's going on, guys? So, I started super late today because I could not find my earbuds. And so hopefully you guys can hear me okay. They are gone. They've disappeared. And I think that was just an omen that I need to finally get the AirPods. So I told everybody I would be showing up at 11 a.m. Pacific. And it's actually like it's 11:25 Pacific, so I apologize for starting late, but maybe that just allowed for more people to show up, so maybe it's a good thing. What's going on, everybody? Let's see who's in here. We got Cowboy, we got Spiel, James K, certified T3 bot, Fat Daddy, Spencer Lush, Valen, beep boop. Let's see, Andrew Pereira, Zeus, Blue Shirt, Freedom Van, James, pretty much all the regulars, Embro. So there's two vans reversing right now. Ugh. They just keep making so much noise. So yeah, starting a little bit late. I did not have my earbuds, so I'm just gonna get the AirPods. That's just, that's just what it is. So yeah, let's go. We already have 63 people in here, so we're gonna do the wrist check at 100 probably, if we get 100 people, and then we're gonna go ahead and start the Q&A. But I did not forget. I never forget about the Saturday live stream, because that's pretty much the best part of my week. Okay. Jesse Wright, what's going on in Indiana? John Chaton, certified T3 bot. Lewis, I am gonna get the AirPods. It's about time. I think this was a sign that I need to get the AirPods. It's funny though, I'm gonna get the AirPods, and then that's right when I'm gonna find my stupid peasant earbuds. Got the Vietnamese coffee, by the way. John from Nottingham. What's going on, man? Reed. Jose from South Florida. David Williams, certified T3 bot. What's going on, man? Watchsmith, Sean T. I know I should have beeped back at them, but I'm glad that I'm glad they've shut up. Juice Man from Liverpool, Shalom. Good Shabbos. Echo 11, Southern Maine. Love Southern Maine. I'm originally from New Hampshire, so I spent many a vacation in Ogunquit. Man, absolutely love Maine. Garcia Correa, what is going on, dude? Embro says, Jory, which hour you're doing the live stream on Wednesdays? I don't live stream on Wednesdays. I live stream on Thursdays around noon, but this week I couldn't. This week I was unable to. We got Illusionist from Kyrgyzstan. What is going on, man? Kenneth from Wyoming, of course. Jason, love you, bro. So it is a beautiful morning here in Southern California. Right now it's like, I think it was maybe even 70 when I drove over here. I really don't need this jacket, but it looks so cool that I'd be stupid not to wear it. So, I mean, come on. Mad Rat from Sherman Oaks, what's going on, man? Fellow Los Angelino. Rob Peter says, you have a jacket in Southern California. Well, it was 41 when I woke up, so it's cold in the mornings. And of course you can insert, it's colder where I'm from. I got a super chat, but I don't know what the question was. I didn't see a question. We got some vehicle bros over here. Ronnie from Tel Aviv. Kol Tov, Ronnie. Let's see. Yeah, did you see that car, that dog he was driving, dude? Thank you so much for the super chat. Again, I didn't see a question attached to it, but thank you so much for supporting the channel. You rock. Dems from Germany. What's going on, man? Everybody's laughing about the dog. Nick says, "Hey, dude, it's 9 degrees in Chi-Town." Yeah, I'm sure it gets freezing in Chicago. I'm well aware. We got some people from Harlem. What's going on? Spent so much time in New York when I lived on the East Coast. I love Manhattan. Beautiful, beautiful place. All right, guys, we're at 100 people already. Let's go ahead and do the wristwatch check. So, guys, I'm at the table. I'm at the beautiful table. So I am wearing my Rolex 1500 Date. Beautiful, beautiful watch. Love that dial. Gorgeous. Almost as gorgeous as this table. So yeah, that is what I am wearing today. What are you guys wearing? Let's do the wristwatch check. See, we got Siegel 1963. We got the Watch Zealot is here. We got a Bulova Accutron. We got some Citizens. Blue shirts wearing a Speedy Moonwatch. Kevin, what's going on in Canada, bro? Gibble says, I spent the most I've ever spent on a watch yesterday, and I'm so excited. What did you get, man? We got Sarbo 33s, we got SKXs, Cassidy's wearing an Alpinist. So David Williams asks a really good question. People get really confused. He says, is this a 36 or a 34? So the difference between a Date Just and a Date is that the Dates were 34 millimeters, and then when they went to the Date Just, they bumped it up to 36. So this is 34 millimeters. Now, what I will say is Rolex did a really good job with their vintage watches. Way back when, they did a really good job of making watches wear a bit bigger than they are, right? Now, fast forward to nowadays, and the current Rolexes wear far too big. They wear far, far too big. The current Submariner does not wear like a Submariner. The Submariner was meant to be a very versatile, elegant dive watch, and now it's this huge, beefy, chunky, kind of grotesque, ugly watch. So they've ruined the Submariner, and you know, it is what it is, guys. Humongous lugs, Gitmo Holiday, yep. Got part of my mustache in my mouth. James says, nice, notification, a bit late. Well, don't worry, dude. We just did the wristwatch check, so don't worry about it. I got another super chat. He says, some more funding for the multi-purpose oil. Yes, stay tuned, guys, because in 2019, we are releasing the Time Teller multi-purpose beard oil. It'll work on your car. It'll work on your beard. It'll lube up, I don't know, any hinges in your squeaky doors. You can use it as a moisturizer. You can use it as a conditioner. It's just gonna be kind of the best product in the world. Beard frying watch oil, that's right. You can use it as an alternative to, you know, your olive oil. If you like olive oil, maybe if you like coconut oil, you can use it like that. You can use it for a stir fry, Mr. Harlequin. You can use it as movement lubrication. Yeah, you can definitely use it for your movements. Ambrose says, would it power a diesel engine? I haven't tested that one yet. We're gonna have to get back to you about diesels. Okay, so we're gonna start the question section because we're already past 100 people in the live stream. Guys, tell me if you can hear me well also, because again, I have no earbuds or anything. So let's, plushies, what's going on, man? I don't know if, is my phone feels really hot, guys, because it's in the sun. So if it turns off, I apologize. Let's go ahead and do some questions. The Watch Zealot says, you think the new Explorer 2 is too big? Yeah, that's why I didn't get one. That's why this 16570 is a much better watch. Even though 42 millimeters versus 40 millimeters isn't a huge difference, Rolex makes their watches in a way that they wear a bit bigger. So at 40 millimeters, it wears quite nicely. At 42 millimeters with these new big lugs, it's a hideous watch. It's just, it does not wear similarly at all to the 16570. So, yeah. Gibble asks what my favorite pocket watch is. I'm not a big pocket watch guy. I have a few. I enjoy them. I'm a wristwatch dude, so I'm sure there's other dudes that know a lot more than me, so wouldn't be able to tell you. My favorite pocket watch is my Illinois. I have a gold Illinois. Let's see. Someone asked about mods on my STI. Yeah, that's a Borla S-type exhaust that I put on, and yeah, sounds amazing. Someone asked where my, Sean T asked where my glasses are from. All my regulars. Sean, you know where they're from. These are Warby Parker. I have no affiliation with Warby Parker. I would love to reach out to them and get you guys a coupon code, because I get more questions about my glasses than I do about my watches. It is what it is. Watch Zealot and a few other people are asking me about other channels. It's not fair to those channels to have me talk about them when I don't know them. So I know everybody wants like the juicy drama and like insider information about like YouTube people. I only talk about the dudes that I know. So Jody from Just One More Watch, super nice dude. He's spoken to me on Instagram. He's jumped in on the comment section here on the live streams before. And Fed, really nice. Those two dudes are really nice. I don't know anything about any other guys, so I'm sorry. But if I do interact with them, I'll let you guys will be the first ones to know. Yeah, that's right. I'm calling out Jody. I'm calling him out. Yo, Just One More Watch. You want some beef with the Time Teller channel? I love Jody. I actually love Jody because his name is so similar to mine. Cowboy Swami says, Time Teller, I get notifications on YouTube before the show starts. Do you know that? Do you know how to do that? I don't know how to do that. And here's another thing, YouTube changes not only their algorithms, but YouTube changes their interfaces a lot. So, when, like the way I see things on the YouTube interface in the Creator Studio changes from time to time, so. What's the deal with horrific mercs from your hometown? Don't know to what you are referring. I wish I knew what you were saying. The Great Loco is laughing. Daniel says, so legit, so honest, no bad vibes. That's right, dude. I'm not trying, like... here's the thing. I wouldn't like it if they spoke about me to their audience. I wouldn't like it if they spoke about me to their audience without knowing, like, without talking to me or knowing me. So I don't think it's fair for me to talk about other content creators when I don't know them or have any, you know, experience in even interacting with them. But don't get me wrong, dude. If I interact with them, you guys will know. Jason says there's been 2 bad Mercedes right behind you. I don't know what to tell you. Los Angeles has a plethora of really good cars, and Los Angeles has a plethora of really bad cars. What I will tell you is there's probably too many cars in Los Angeles altogether. Reed says that there was a 911 that just drove by me, and I know, I saw it. It was white, and it was beautiful. Let's, more questions, guys, more questions. Johan says, hello from Sweden. What's going on, Johan? I got another super chat from Illuminati. Thank you, Illuminati. So he says, what do you think about the Volkswagen Beetle? Are you referring to the modern one or the older one? You can let me know. I'll just answer for both. The modern one I don't like at all. The older one I think is cool. Rear engine, really interesting, especially when you turn it into like a buggy. I think it's pretty cool. But I'm not a huge Volkswagen guy. Brian LP, certified T3 bot, thank you for the super chat. He says, just got my new Tissot PR100 Powermatic 80 COSC. Very cool, really cool watch, man. Powermatic 80 is a great movement, enormous power reserve. So, and I think Tissot makes some really cool watches. Their Heritage chronograph, though, that's the 1946 Heritage chronograph from Tissot. That's the one to get. Plushy says, answer my gosh dang question. What's your question? Do I watch SML Super Mario Logan? I've never heard of him. Green spends, I can't really talk about that stuff on YouTube. YouTube's not really a fan of that kind of content, so I probably won't be making content like that. I know, it's a bummer. Daniel says, finally got to Saturday live stream, always working and miss it. Well, thank you so much for joining in, man. Andrew says, original Beetle styled by Hitler. Yeah, well, I mean, Hitler's car was, his like limo was a Mercedes, and I'm a big fan of Mercedes, so I mean, the past is the past. And listen, I'm 100% Jewish, guys, but I'm not gonna like, I'm not gonna boycott every German product. Jacob, you must be new here. He says, thoughts on Oris watches. I wear my Big Crown Pro Pilot like every week. It's one of my favorite watches. I've literally made an episode saying that is the best everyday watch. And I said it was cheap because you could get it for under $1,000, and people went ballistic because I referred to a watch under $1,000 as being cheap, when that was the whole point of the title, was to kind of say, hey, look, you're getting so much watch for under $1,000 when you compare it to the big Pilot watches from IWC. It's kind of hard when you have these two watches. It's kind of hard to justify an IWC Big Pilot when the Big Crown Pro Pilot is so nice. Jacob says, I was looking for a $1,000 piece. Well, what kind of watch do you want? Do you want a diver? Do you want a dress watch? Do you want, like, what do you want? Because Oris has a lot of watches in that price range. If you want kind of a dressier watch, go for the Atelier, series. If you want kind of like a field watch, military watch, go for the Big Crown, the Pro Pilot series. And if you want a diver, the Aquis, man, come on. Embro, certified T3 bot, says, what about Alpina? Alpina makes good watches, for sure. Stephen Lee, all right, go tend to the baby, man. Have a good one. Freedom, what's your favorite exhaust for the VQ35? Well, never had a VQ35 because I had a 370. But, I don't know. Everybody's going to say, Tome. Oh, the Tome exhaust. Single exit. This is Taco, says he's a lefty. I am a lefty. I am a lefty. That's why I wear my watch on my right wrist. Illuminati says, don't forget the like button. Illuminati, you rock. Thank you for supporting the channel. Illuminati is the moderator of this chat. James K hasn't been super active today. James is usually moderating Dean. Illuminati is now officially the moderator of this Saturday live stream today. So guys, like it, okay? Like the live stream. Hungzilla says, Jory, I'm gonna sell my Tutor North flag in like a month. Do you want to review it before I let it go? Yes. DM me on Instagram. I do want to review that watch for sure. Because I always talk about how I'm really mad at Tutor, but that's like the only Tutor that I would wear. Great Locos says, should I go with Oyster Perpetual 39 or Day-Date 40 for my dress watch? Between those, Day-Date. Day-Date, Day-Date, Day-Date. HKS Exhaust sounds amazing. Brian LP says, yeah, HKS makes, excuse me, I'm thinking of SKS. HKS makes great, really well-tuned products, like great finishing. Yeah, I think they have great applications for a lot of cars. Handler says, okay, I give up. What's your question, Handler? I think people get offended because there's like over 100 people here. On my screen, I see me, and then the questions are like scrolling really fast, guys. Okay, on my interface. So if I miss your comment or question, it's not that I'm purposefully ignoring you, it's that I have to read the questions and comments and then also formulate, you know, a response to them, or else I'd be sitting here silently. Okay, here's one. No, guys, okay. Mr. T-Bone says the audio is bad. Yeah, because I couldn't find my earbuds. Daniel says, maybe my super chat didn't show. I asked if you ever felt you had a wrong watch for a situation planned or not. Yeah, I have. And it was really frustrating. I was in, where was it? I think it was Santa Barbara, actually. I was in Santa Barbara, and obviously that's around the beach. We were gonna go to dinner, and I put on a drink, and we had dinner, but then Connie wanted to go check out the beach, and I should have been smarter and just worn like a waterproof watch at the time. Well, okay, the watch I was wearing was waterproof, but it wasn't a dive watch and I didn't want to go in the water, and it was kind of frustrating. I wish I just wore a dive watch. Brian LP certified T3 boss says 134 people on the live stream. Don't be offended. Don't take it personally if he missed your question. Thank you. Rick Green certified T3 bot says I'm offended. Mark Smith says, wow, Jory, would you actually wear a Tutor? Yeah, I would. There's two that I would wear. One would be the North flag, and then the other one would be the original Tutor Advisor. Google it. When you type in Tutor Advisor, you're gonna see the current one, which is hideous. They should have never made it. And it is just kind of, they're being incredibly disrespectful to their own past. But the original Tutor Advisor had an oyster case, essentially. It looked a lot like this, but it was a dual crown system because it was an alarm watch. It was a very early alarm watch. So if I could find a clean dial, pristine original Tutor Advisor, I might even buy that. I might even add that to my collection. James K says, Jory, any thoughts on wearing watch facing body as opposed, so you're talking about, okay. James K, Certified T3 Bot, wants to know how I feel about wearing a watch dial in versus dial out. The thing is, I do sometimes wear my watches dial in, and here's why. He alluded to maybe hiding them from thieves or whatever. I'm not too concerned about that personally, but there are times if I'm in a very narrow place, for instance, maybe I'm in an area where there's a lot of people and I'm having to kind of go up against walls or something, or if, for instance, if I was, when we were in, Connie and I were in La Jolla and we were walking through the cove, and it's very narrow passages, I turned my field watch inside, and it's simply because I can control, you know, where my wrist is, and the head of the watch isn't gonna smash against a cove. So I actually do think there is a purpose to wearing your watch dial in. And so sometimes I do it, but only in specific situations, and it's not to hide my watch from anybody. It's more so to protect it from overt damage. And Arnold says John Wick style. So really funny, kind of cute. I got my dad the Carl Bucher Monero date like 2 years ago, I think now, after the first John Wick came out, because I noticed that that's the watch he was wearing. And my dad is obsessed with John Wick. So I got him John Wick's watch, and whenever my dad wears it, he wears it dial in. So that's really funny. Spencer says, a lot of soldiers I know wear their watches dial in. Yeah, a lot of law enforcement does that too. The reason why is, believe it or not, so I was speaking to some police officers about this specific thing. The reason why is because when they're writing things or looking at something, they can easily see the time. So they can easily see whatever information is on their watch. They don't have to pick up, you know, their info and then look. They can just hold whatever they're holding, look, and then the info's right there. So that's typically why law enforcement and military wear their watches dial in. Also, I'd assume to protect it from damage. Edgar Salas, Certified T3 Bot, says, I just flipped my watch inside and I hate myself. Yeah, I don't, like, if I'm wearing an everyday watch, like, if you see me 9 times out of 10, my watch will not be flipped inside, so. People are asking how my hand is. I messed up my finger with a spring bar tool, if you can believe that. So the spring bar tool slipped off the lug and just went straight into my finger. Someone was asking me about a President or a Daytona. I do not like Daytonas, guys, unless they're very old. So the original Daytonas, big fan. I like them. Current Daytonas, hideous. I do not like current Daytonas. I'm sorry. Isaiah says, see the time teller. What's going on, man? Yeah, PN says Daytona or president. I gotta go president, man. I'm a big fan of most presidents, regardless of the era. I'm talking about the watch. Daytonas, I have very specific references that I like. So I'm much more picky when it comes to Daytonas versus the president. JCE says, how do I become a certified T3 bot? You click the join button and then on my channel, and you can actually support the channel. It's kind of like Patreon, but it's set up by YouTube. So I have no control over, like Patreon lets the content creators have a little bit more control with like what they offer and everything. To become a channel member, a certified T3 bot, YouTube is in control of that, and it's $4 a month, $4 a month, and you can support the channel, and I really appreciate that. It's so funny, people like, let's see. Rick Green, certified T3 bot, he has a good one. He says, how does the T3 community feel about wearing vintage divers in rugged situations? I'm wearing my vintage diver right now. I've been wearing it all week, but I have to say I worry about damage. Well, Rick, it's your watch, and you gotta weigh the risks, and you gotta weigh and kind of evaluate what you're willing to deal with, right? If there's ever a watch that is so fragile or so difficult to wear, or it's going to be incredibly difficult to repair, maybe you wouldn't be or maybe you'd be a little bit more meticulous and careful about the situations that you'd put the watch in, right? So I'm going to give you an example. I wear every watch in my collection. There's pretty much not a watch that I won't wear. I'm not one of these like collectors that keeps everything in a safe under, you know, like hermetic sealing. I'm going to wear the watches that I have. I think that's the main enjoyment I get from watch collecting, is wearing the watches I collect. Anyway, however, there's two watches that I kind of find myself being careful with. One is my grandfather's Elgin, or my great-grandfather's Elgin, sorry. My great-grandfather, I never met him. It was kind of really random how I came to acquire that watch. Not 6 months ago, my dad was going through some stuff and he found that watch. It wasn't running. I took it into my serviceman, and the watch service guys fixed it up and it runs. However, it's so old, it's very fragile. So I'm probably not going to wear that every day. Another watch that I find myself babying is my Grand Seiko J14070, simply because it's incredibly difficult to source a new crystal for that watch. It's difficult to source new hands for that watch. You cannot source a new dial for that watch. So, yeah, I'm going to be a bit more careful with that watch, right? It's not going to be my everyday piece. So you have to look at your own collection, and you have to evaluate and calculate the risk. And I can't really figure that out for you. Gandra says, bitch lasagna. Yeah. Cowboy Storm says, do you like vintage Ferrari like the 65 GTB? Yeah, heck yes. But I'm a 90s kid, okay? Like I was born in 89, but I don't know anything about the 80s. But the car that was on my wall, I had a picture of a 911, I had a picture of a Diablo, Lamborghini Diablo, And then I had a poster of the F40. So the Ferrari F40 was my like poster car. Because of the era that I grew up in, most of my friends were into the F50, right? The more modern one. But me personally, I thought I was cool. I wanted the F40 twin turbo. I love that car. So PN says, some people are saying, would you rather have a president or a girlfriend? I would give up every watch for Connie. So, people are much more important than watches, guys. I know it's weird to hear that from a wristwatch channel, but the people in your life are much more important than any item that you could ever acquire. Spencer says the G in Elgin is pronounced as a G in guy, rather G in gin. A soft G, not a hard G. Thank you, Spencer. Really don't care. My dad is from Illinois. He's from Southside Chicago. And when the Elgin factory closed down, my dad actually helped demo that factory in Elgin, Illinois. So I'm gonna pronounce it how my dad does because my dad's from there. Taco, it's your birthday. This is Taco 1. I didn't realize it was your birthday, my friend. Happy birthday. Everybody in the chat, please wish Taco a happy birthday. He's a great viewer and yeah, very, very active in the live stream. So thank you so much, Taco. You rock. Great Locos says Ferrari 308 GTS. Heck yeah. Random Rob, really cool dude. He's also in the chat. Brian LP, certified T3 bot. He says, I remember having a poster of a Testarossa on my wall. Man, I always wanted either a silver or a yellow Testarossa. Just beautiful, man. Love you too, Taco. Have a good one, man. Happy birthday. Have a very happy birthday. James K says, James K is a certified T3 bot. Not the DS2 Chrono. Spencer Lush says, was your dad illiterate? It's so funny, Spencer. You comment on all my videos and you always have very backhanded comments. I read all my comments. And you also join in on the live streams and you try to also make backhanded comments, which is hilarious because you do watch all my content, yet you have something to say. So was my dad illiterate? Well, no. He grew up incredibly poor, put himself through medical school, and now he's one of the most prominent physicians in Los Angeles. So is he illiterate? No. He's actually quite successful. And he's worked very hard for my family, and he's my hero. So, no, my dad is absolutely not illiterate. And he got me into watches, and I learned everything I could have ever learned in life from my dad. So, no, very, very literate man. What color dial on a president? It depends. Silver dial presidents with yellow gold are gorgeous. And sometimes you can't do better. Sometimes you can't do better than a champagne dial. Do you know what I mean? But on a yellow gold, sometimes I love the juxtaposition of the silver dial, and sometimes I love the classic gold, like gold champagne. Now, what I will say, just like what Thomas Burnett is saying, the current president, while I feel that it is too big, I think that the green dial with the gold Romans is beautiful. Is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Nick says, I saw a yellow S2000 and it was pretty sweet. Yeah, those are dope. Great Loco, most know me as the president. John Black says, your dad sounds like a great guy. He is a great guy. JCE says, consider yourself lucky. I've been banned from this channel twice. I'm not banning anybody. I don't care. But if you're gonna say something, this is a conversation. Be prepared to be responded to. Brian LP says, I like the Platinum President with the ice blue dial. Very rare watch. The Platinum Day Date is with the smooth bezel. Very hard to find and not worn by a lot of people. Instead of platinum, I prefer the white gold. But Tom says, Tom here, Ireland loves you. Well, I love you, Tom. I love Ireland. I gotta go visit. Everything I see from that area is absolutely gorgeous and scenic and picturesque. And boy, I'd love to have an Irish breakfast. So if you'll have me, I will come visit and we'll grab an Irish breakfast. Calvin, thank you so much for the super chat. He says, is a tourbillon from China for $480 worth the money? Boy, I'm not a big tourbillon guy. I reviewed the Era tourbillon, and that watch was very cool, very interesting. About twice the price of a $480 tourbillon. That one I was able to look at, and the movement actually looked solid because the movement is used for other watches. A 480 tourbillon though, I'd have to look at it, man. But what I'm trying to get at is if you wanted to spend that money to experience a tourbillon and look at it and study it and just kind of admire it, maybe, but I probably would put that money elsewhere. If you're asking me my preference. Hungzilla says, is anybody here wrist challenged and work on exercises at the gym to increase their wrist size to wear bigger watches? I don't know, someone in the comment section help. I was blessed with bigger wrists. And I do train, not my wrists to get them bigger, but I train grip strength for sure. I train a lot of grip strength. Whether or not that has made my wrists larger, I'm not sure, but PN says, diamond markers on President. I don't like gems on any of my watches, with one exception. Can you guess? All right, I don't like gems on any of my watches except for one watch. And that would be the sapphire gem on Cartier. If you have a Cartier and they use that Saji, Abraham, certified C3 bot, you are absolutely right. The Cartier is the only watch that I'm okay with a gemstone on, and that would be the sapphire that's on the crown. But as far as diamond or stone indexes, I'm not a big fan of them. But I am so proud of Saji for getting that, and Thomas Burnett and other people are guessing that as well. John Boyzell says, I heard a rumor that you curl in the squat rack. Is that true? I don't. I do not. I never would. But if I did, no one would tell me otherwise. Andrew says, for gi grabbing, you are exactly right. I'm not a big grip fighter. I don't want to be messing around with your grip. But if I do get a grip on you, you're going for a ride. So yeah, I do train grip a lot. And Ray Q, certified T3 bot, is right. The only stones that I really hope to acquire are the Infinity Stones. You should have aimed for the head. Who knows what I'm talking about? Daniel Katz will do. We'll talk about that. Juice Man, you have some good taste. Taekwondo Chad says Thanos. Exactly. You should have aimed for the head. So frustrating, dude. That was so frustrating. I was so mad at Star-Lord, dude. Yeah, exactly, Mr. Stranger. Invicta disappears. Andrew says, okay, so this is kind of gonna get businessy. I don't want it to get businessy. Andrew says, do you think the watch market is getting saturated? Okay, from basic like market analysis, you could argue that a lot of industries are getting saturated. All right. I don't think the watch industry is saturated. What I think there is an issue of this is gonna be a long rant. So I think a lot of companies are offering a lot of stupid products in the watch industry. That's what I'll say. Is it saturated? I don't think it's oversaturated. I don't think it's hyper-saturated. But just like with any industry, you have to be very meticulous, and you have to find out, you have to separate the good from the bad. You have to separate the products that are actually worth it versus the products that are not. And that's what I hope to help you sift through on this channel, right? Us together, we are looking and debating and conversing about watches that we deem to be good and worth the money versus the watches that we deem to be, you know, not interesting, blah, blah, blah. JCE says, where can I get an authentic Invicta watch? Your nearest trash bin or dumpster, guarantee you could find something there. Andrew says, Grand Seiko price is on the up. Yeah. Yep. Michael Powell, what's up in Chi-Town? PN says Porsche or president. You keep asking me these, this or that, and it's always versus the president. But the expenses on a Porsche versus a president are vastly different. But between those two, I'd pick a Porsche. It'd be any Porsche I'd choose, right? So if it was a 1993 RS America and Guards Red versus, you know, any president, I would choose the RS America. Great Loco says Submariner, Yachtmaster, GMT Master 2. I don't know if you saw my last picture on Instagram. I broke out my 16800 sub. So I would choose that. I would choose the 16800. John Boyzell says, you're stuck in purgatory. What's on your wrist? Well, something to help get me out. What's up, Javier Vega, by the way? Nice to see you. Taco says, who makes better dials, H. Moser or Longa? Probably Longa. Moser makes great well-finished watches, but they're just not as interesting to me as Lange. Not so obvious, certified T3 bot. Yeah, I mean, Moser is a cool company because they don't take themselves too seriously. And it's funny how they make that watch that looks like a essentially looks like an Apple Watch. And so it's fun, it's cool. I probably wouldn't wear it. I like a bit more classic styling. Just me. Daniel says, I want a nice sub $1,000 everyday watch. Is Alpinist the best bet? Yeah, you can't go wrong with Alpinist. Ryan says, hello from Lexington, Kentucky. What's going on, man? How's Kentucky? Blue Moon says, just went for groceries at 10 p.m. Enjoys having coffee during a nice day. Yeah, it is, you know, a little past noon here in Los Angeles. I'm just chilling. Edgar Salas, hey Ryan, Edgar, a certified T3 bot, is also in Lexington, Kentucky. You guys should have a meetup. Let me know how it goes. Saji, certified T3 bot, says Alpinist over Hamilton. It depends. It depends, man. That I might make an episode comparing the two, but see, the Hamilton khaki field watch is classic with a lot of heritage. And that is the quintessential field watch. If you want a field watch, that's the watch you get. The Alpinist, although I think it fits in the field watch category, it's, boy, I wouldn't consider it a classically styled field watch though, but still one I think you guys should check out. Shabdo Music, what's up, dog? Calvin says, yes, Jory, get an AP code 1159. I will not. Yo, maybe I will. I'll just buy a Daniel Wellington and just write AP on the dial. PN keeps asking me about Basel World 2019 predictions. Tutor is gonna release another Black Bay. Tutor is going to cannibalize their own market by releasing another sports watch. I've said it in the past 2 months. I mentioned that Tutor would not bring back the Submariner, all right? And the reason I said that was, number one, because they are striving for a bit more independence from Rolex, right? Companies are trying to distance themselves. So by them re-releasing the Tutor Submariner, it just brings them back to Rolex. So that's the first reason. The second reason, just like Federico said on a live stream here, Tutor probably wouldn't bring back the Submariner because that's why they have the Black Bay. That's why they have the Black Bay, so they can have a more reasonably dimensioned, more reasonably proportioned dive watch. Now, the past 2 months I've been saying that Tutor will not make another Submariner. Tutor will not make another Submariner for those reasons. Now, this week, Tutor just teased a picture of a watch index. Looks a bit like there could be a Submariner. I realize that I have tried to use logic to rationalize a company that uses no logic when they create and release their watches. So in 2019 Basel World, they probably will release another Black Bay, and they might release another Submariner, and it will be the dumbest thing ever, because if you only have sports watches, specifically divers, on your roster, you're going to damage the sales of your overall business. You look at Seiko. Seiko has a ton of divers, okay? Seiko has an enormous amount of divers, but then you look at everything else they offer and they have a ton of other things. So they're not cannibalizing their own market. Then you look at Tutor, and all they have are sports watches. They only have divers. If they release another Submariner, fine. Get rid of all your black bays. They're not gonna do that. Ray Q with the super chat, thank you so much. He says, sorry, granddaughter's calling. Your granddaughter is much more important, so pick up the phone, have a great one, tell her I said hello. And again, thank you so much for the super chat, Ray. Ray's a great viewer. He's a certified T3 bot as well. Omar Morales, certified T3 bot, says, drink is almost out, time for a refill. Thank you so much, brother. I'll take you up on that. Thank you. You guys are already buying me drinks. You guys rock. Great Locos says, perfect 3 Rolex collection, dress, casual, and sport. That's a great question. Can I choose vintage, or does it have to be current? You gotta tell me. Sergatron, certified T3 bot, great dude. He says, yo, what up? What's going on, man? Not so obvious watches says the Tutor brand is flexible enough to grow. Tutor is wasting this moment. Okay, so again, business talk, but you guys, we're businessmen, we're numbers guys here. Tutor is in a very interesting stage in their business. Again, trying to grab more of the market because they are distancing themselves, gaining more independence from this shadow of Rolex. Now, when they're trying to, it seems like what they're trying to do is dominate the sector of sports watches, but what they're doing is very odd because they don't have the affordable crowd, really, because anybody with, you know, $1,000 to spend is gonna get a nice Seiko. Milcom, have a good one, bro. Thank you for joining us. And then anybody with $2,000 to spend is probably, like, $2,000 is a very weird price range. So what's going to end up happening is people are probably going to buy the high-end Pro-Spec Seikos if they want a sports watch. And then when they start saving up above that... What's up, dude?
Not much. How are you?
I'm good. I saw this shadow and I was like, whoa. I didn't realize someone was there. And then, if you guys are laughing, I was busy thinking about what I was saying, and then I saw a shadow and I didn't know what it was. I was like, oh, hello, a very tall gentleman. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is at Tutor's price point, you're gonna buy something else. So that's, Isaiah says he didn't even look at you. Again, I was too busy like thinking about what I was trying to say. Tutor's messing up. If they're trying to dominate their okay, this is, hear me out, guys, hear me out. I've gathered what I want to say. If Tutor's actually trying to dominate their sector for being these Swiss sports watches that are more affordable than Rolex, then they should diversify their price range also, but they don't. They don't. Okay? So with a grand, you're gonna get a nice Seiko. With a couple grand, you're gonna get, you know, an Oris or something higher, a bit higher end like that. With 3 grand, are you really gonna get a Tutor? I don't know about that. Lewis says, you have a really nice day, RIP my day. Well, I hope something's good. People are asking if that was Dean. I don't know. Here's what's odd about that dude. There's like a lot of area to walk, like behind me. Excuse me. This dude like rubbed against me. He was like right there. And that's why when there were a bunch of people walking, I didn't pay attention, but I saw the shadow, which means the dude was like right here. I don't know if you can tell like the depth perception from the camera, but he was like right here. He liked my beard. I agree with you, PN. Over 3K, just save up for a Rolex. I'm scrolling up to look at comments, guys. More questions, guys. I'm reading more comments, reading more comments. Okay, so, Taco says, who has larger wrists, you or Fed? I don't know, I got 7.5-inch wrists. I'm not sure. I got bigger biceps though. People are laughing about something. I feel left out of the joke. What are the rumors? There's Seiko rumors? What are the Seiko rumors? Reverso is a great watch, man. All right, so 3-watch Rolex collection, and he wants current. He doesn't want vintage, which is really hard for me because I think vintage Rolexes are much better than anything they currently have. So he wants sports, dress, and everyday, I think. What's up? We got some fans over here, guys. For sports, for current sports Rolex, I think it was Loco who asked the question. The current Rolexes I wouldn't buy. Their current sports Rolexes I wouldn't buy because the lugs are terrible. The only one I would probably buy currently would be the Batman for a sports one. Sorry, my hair is in the wind. Current sports Rolex, we're gonna say the Batman. Okay, this is how we're looking right now. For an everyday, we're gonna go with a. Oh my God, it's gonna be really tough. Okay, for sports watch, current, we're gonna go with the Batman. All right, even though the lugs are too big, that one looks fine. We're gonna go for a Batman. For a dress watch, we're gonna go with a yellow gold President, and for an everyday watch, we're gonna go with a white gold President. Who's saying Seiko is leaving us? I got my 6. You guys got my 6. Arnold? What's the rumor? Someone wrote to me like, oh, Seiko's gonna leave the affordable market. Seiko makes probably over 50% of their like yearly sales in the sub $1,000 market. They're not gonna leave the sub $1,000 market, guys. As per usual, we got someone complaining about Jews on my live stream. I don't know what it is, man. It's just, I can't hide it, bro. I can't hide it. Watch Zealot says, how do you know? I don't know. I don't know anything. Like, you're asking me my opinion. Seiko definitely makes the majority of their income within the affordable market, okay? They would not leave that affordable market. That 3 Rolex collection is really bothering me right now because you guys have to know how I feel about the current Rolexes, okay? The lugs are too big, so it's hard for me to choose a sports watch. But I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to be honest here. For a sports watch, it would be the current Batman. All right, the lugs are too big. K-Dog, I don't like when people ask me to say things, but I'll shout you out because you're a viewer. So what's going on, K-Dog? Okay, I've said this 1,000 times. For the current sports watch, we're gonna go with the Batman. I'd wear that as the sports watch. As the everyday piece, we're gonna go with the Explorer, not the Explorer 2, the current Explorer, or the more modern Explorer. And then for my dress watch, it'd be hard. It would be between a yellow gold and a white gold President. Kind of want to just choose white gold because that's super badass. What are you always sipping? Chance Schwartz says. Well, on Saturdays, I drink Vietnamese coffee. So it's Vietnamese coffee. Juice Man says, Batman Date Just Explore 1. Heck yeah. Edgar Salas actually has the best insight, and he's correct. Certified T3 by Edgar. Says Seiko is diversifying. Seiko is the same. Grand Seiko independently blasting off as they should. Exactly. For those of you who've been reading about Seiko and Grand Seiko has gained some new independence. All right, so Seiko has rearranged themselves essentially so that Grand Seiko is much more independent of the overall brand. Okay, they have their own president. They are making a lot of their own decisions. All right, so Grand Seiko is scaling up. That's perfectly fine. That is not going to affect 90% of what we are choosing from Seiko's roster. Do not worry. Are Grand Seikos getting more expensive? Maybe. As they should. They're a company that I think deserves to play with the big boys. Okay? Seiko is releasing some more expensive watches with their Presages. At the end of 2016 and all throughout 2017, they were testing the market with releasing some of these more high-end Presage models. Then at the end of 2017, they started testing with enamel dials. All right. But I don't know where you guys are. They're not gonna get rid of sub $1,000 watches, guys. It's not gonna happen. Not so obvious. What's not so obvious doing? James K, certified T3 bot. He's also moderating right now. He's still blocking Dean. PN says, how often do you work out? So, as you guys know, I was getting over that cold last week. So I didn't hit the weight room much last week. And then I also didn't go to jiu-jitsu because I don't want to be like breathing and like coughing on my training partners. So, but typically, and like this week, and then typically, it's 3 to 4 days a week in the mornings for jiu-jitsu, and then 5 days a week on my powerlifting split. Nkadu 007. It says, okay, he America, who look rough and rugged, but sound like a soy boy pansy female boy. How about this? Come to America, and I will show you some soy. John says, what happened to your time away channel? I don't know. Stay tuned this week and you might see something. Hint, 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 hint. I told you guys in starting 2019 we'd get more content, and I'm making good with that. With that claim. It didn't go anywhere. Okay, so in business you split test things, right? So like I did a tester at the end of last year, beginning of the end of last year, to see if anybody would even be interested in that channel, and people started asking me. Now the thing is, I wanted to end the year strong with the Time Teller channel, but now that it's January, I can start focusing on you know, other things that I want to do for this year. And my goal for this year is to build up the Time Away channel. Part of what I want you guys to do, how many of you guys here, there's 128 people, how many of you guys here, PN, I disagree with you. He says, I'd rather have any Rolex than any Seiko. I disagree, those are both my favorite companies, but that's my, I wouldn't say any Seiko or any Rolex over any Seiko, and I wouldn't say any Seiko over any Rolex. Marissa, my sister, is in the chat. Oh my gosh, Marissa's a certified T3 bot. Thanks, Riss, for supporting my channel. You didn't have to do that. My own sister called me a soy boy. Okay. I know she's joking, right? Andrew says Jory's north-south must be brutal. Dude, you do not want to go north-south with me, because I will totally try to post up on you, pull up your arm, Kimura, and then if you don't go for a Kimura, I will crucifix you from north-south. All right, I will pull a crucifix from north-south and destroy you. And for those of you who know what I'm talking about, you guys know what I'm talking about. What was I talking about before this? Someone called me a soy boy, and then I was talking about, oh, I wouldn't choose any Seiko over any blanket statement like that. Any generalization is difficult for me. I choose watches on a watch-to-watch basis. There are companies that I really like, for instance, Rolex and Seiko, but I don't choose watches based on brand loyalty. Embro says, I have no idea what you're talking about. That's jiu-jitsu stuff. And guys, I'm not an expert by any means in jiu-jitsu. I'm very much a novice. Someone asked, PN says, do you diet or eat anything you want? I actually made an episode on Time Away, on the Time Away channel, talking about my diet, and it's funny, it's been a few months, it's been about 3 months since I uploaded that episode on my diet, and I've lost over 30 pounds. It's coming on, I think, 32 pounds since I uploaded that video. So I don't know if you guys can tell, but I've slimmed down a bit, and I carb back. I do carb cycling. So Monday through Friday, I don't eat any carbs, and then Saturday, Sunday, I reintroduce carbs into my diet, and yeah. So it's not keto. I mean, I guess 5 days out of the week you can say it's keto, but it's not really keto. But yeah, here's what I want you guys to do. How many of you, people are commenting on my hair. How many of you follow me on Instagram? I would like you to write to me. Michael Powell says, how do you lose 30 pounds in 3 months? By carb cycling like I did, and training like I do. I think a lot of it was because I was jumping into jiu-jitsu really hard, and then obviously powerlifting. So, but if you follow me on Instagram, I want you guys to write to me at The Simple Consultant, and I would love for you to tell me what type of content you would like to see on the Time Away channel, because people are asking me about mindset, people are asking me about business, people are asking me about relationships, like Connie and stuff. So if you are on Instagram, I would love to hear what type of content you would want to hear from me, because I'm actually going to be probably releasing an episode tomorrow for you guys. I might film a little something for you guys on the Time Away channel. So let me know, and yeah. Sebastian T says, I wrote you a couple messages, unfortunately no answer till now, just watches 86. Sebastian, I apologize if I missed your messages. I'm gonna find you and respond. What you need to also take into consideration is the messages I get on Instagram are very similar to the comments I get here on the live stream. I get a ton in succession, so I need to I try to knock down as many as I can in the day. So I apologize. It's not that I'm ignoring you. I get hundreds and hundreds, and they pile up, and I will absolutely respond to each and every one of you guys, because my any success or any you know, prominence I have on social media is because of you guys, and I make this content for you guys. So I do appreciate each and every one of you. People are saying that Civic was annoying. Yeah, it was. PN says, do a workout vid. There's a few videos of me deadlifting and some other stuff that I was doing at the Time Away channel. Guys, please, seriously, check out the Time Away channel. There's a few episodes. I'm 30 pounds heavier, but check it out and tell me what you guys think. Sergatron says, happy belated to Mama T3. You do anything nice for her? Yeah, we got her gifts. Obviously took her out to dinner last night. It was my mom's birthday last night. So if you saw me on Instagram, yeah, I spent some time with the family, and yeah, she rocks. And I'm actually going to visit her again today. But thank you for the happy birthday wish, Sergatron. Very nice. Sebastian says, I wrote you just to thank you for your content and your videos that you shared with us. Well, thank you, dude. And thanks for joining in, and thanks for supporting the channel and commenting. But yeah, seriously, comment. Write to me on Instagram and let me know what type of stuff you'd like to see on the Time Away channel. Seriously. I have a feeling it's probably going to be more me in front of the camera talking about like mindset stuff, and then obviously everything else that I'm interested in, my other hobbies and cars and everything. Blah, blah, blah. Isaiah says, how tall are you when you stand vertically, as opposed to how I stand in any other plane of here's what I'll say. If I stretch really hard and I'm super limber and I have a little bit of volume in my hair and I'm wearing shoes, I might hit 6 feet, but I'm closer. I'm like 5'11". Nick S says, other EDC gear other than watches on the Time Away channel would be cool. Yeah, for sure. Z Blue, thoughts? I don't know what that is. Brian LP, Certified T3 Boss, says, I can't wait to see what lies in store for 2019. This is going to be a badass year for T3. It's going to be a badass year for all of us, guys, because I'm bringing each and every one of you with me. So, yeah, 2019 is probably going to be the coolest year for this channel and the other channel and everything that we're doing. So, yeah, it's going to be crazy. Art Ponce says, can you answer this? Should Seiko bring back the King Seiko with the 6L35 movement, which is 28,800 BPH, and offer it in the mid-range? First of all, what bothered me about their Presage line is that they weren't offering high beat movements. I think for those watches at that price range, they should have offered a 28,800 BPH movement for sure. Would it be really cool if they brought back a King Seiko? Yeah, that would be really cool. Will they do it? I doubt it. The watch seller says, how tall are you when you're sitting down? I don't know, man. I think it depends on what I'm sitting on. I would love for them to bring back the King Seiko. I owned a King Seiko, actually, but I sold it because it wasn't the one I wanted. I still am trying to find a good condition King Seiko special, the King Seiko special. So, but I wish they'd bring back the 28,800 BPH. But oh, the Z Blue Milgauss. Okay, I see what you're saying. I'm not a bit. I told you guys originally the Milgauss was a watch that I lusted over, and it was one of my grails when I first got into watches. Then when I realized I could attain it, I didn't want one. It's funny how that works. Isaiah says, what about the Cortura line? I don't like that line from Seiko. Are vintage Seamasters worth getting? Greg, yes, depending on the one. Yes. Art Ponce, of course, man, anytime. Jew Kibrel says, Tutor Submariner at Basel World 2019? Maybe. I went on a whole rant about that earlier in this live stream. I really hope not, but who knows. J-Com says, Shatola and Invicta are coming out with a new watch called the Geordie. All I'm saying is I better get some royalties if they're gonna sell it. PN says, I can't find Time Away channel. What's the link? There should be a link in my channel's bio. So if you go to like my channel's page on YouTube, it'll say like check out my other channel. If you type in Time Away, it should show up. Oh my gosh, are people asking what I do? Brian LP, business consultant. I told you guys once every live stream. And then you guys can rattle off all the other questions. Sebastian T, what would you do if Invicta buys Rolex someday? Rolex probably has the most, like the largest brand equity of any watch in the world, any watch manufacturer in the world. So if Invicta was able to acquire Rolex, that would be a very sad time for the watch world, because that would mean Rolex has done something terrible. It means Rolex has made very mismanaged, poorly advised decisions, and yeah, that would be nuts. That would be an alternate reality. George says, you have 3,000 subs on Time Away. Yeah, that's cool. I did a little test at the end of last year. I got some subscribers, and hopefully some of you guys will join me over there as well, the Time Away channel, because I'm going to be making weekly content for you. Ryan Thompson says, how many watches do you own? Too many and not enough. John M, that hasn't really happened to me yet, thankfully. He asks if I ever bought a watch that I was really excited about, and then when I got it, I was disappointed. It's because I'm really, really picky about what I get. Brian LP says, you should just have I'm a business consultant on your forehead. No need to ever address it again. Well, that's why I might make that shirt and that hat. I might. We will see. Sean T was answering some of the questions too. He drinks Vietnamese coffee. He got his hair cut. Where do I live? Los Angeles, baby. PN says, what's the link to the Time Away channel? I can't find it. I can't help you. I can't send you a link right now because unfortunately I'm live streaming. Again, it should be in the channel bio or channel description of my channel. Calvin says, Invicta's big in Germany. I see them. Yeah, I mean, they're very prevalent here as well. Jew says, how many pieces make a perfect collection? That's up to you, man. I can't tell you that. I think you could cover all your bases with 3 watches, though. Dress watch, dedicated sports watch, and then an everyday watch. I think you could do that. Not So Obvious says, is it me or is the moderator very busy right now? I think so. Not So Obvious, certified T3 bot. Spammers for sure. Brady, remember when I used to call you Bradley? Brady says, sup Jory, you pick heavy stuff and put it down all day long, man. You just pick it up and you put them down. New Pepsi or Batman? Between those two, Batman. Even though I'm more of a Pepsi guy. For the current ones, Batman looks much better. What's up, Trooper? Speedy Heselite versus Rolex OP. The OP39 I'm not a huge fan of, so probably the Speedy. Ooh, SKX or Baby Turtle? SKX, between those, SKX. But guys, I'm done with my coffee, unfortunately. So that does mean this live stream is coming to an end, but hear me out, guys. I'm gonna post a picture on my Instagram, all right? The Simple Consultant. And what I want you to do is I'm gonna have a question there about the Time Away channel. I want you to answer me there so we can get everybody in the comment section there and I can read them all together. So guys, thank you so much for joining me on this Saturday live stream. It's actually a beautiful day here in Los Angeles. I hope it's beautiful wherever you are. So guys, again, as always, I say this every time. All right, first thing, what do I want you to do? I want you to get out of your comfort zone, all right? If there's that special someone you wanted to talk to, if there's that thing that you wanted to do but you're kind of worried about it, do it, all right? I don't care, you gotta do it, because getting on this like phone, getting on the camera and talking to you guys was uncomfortable for me. It was scary, all right? But I did it, and it was well worth it. Look at all my friends that I have now, all right? Quenz, what's going on, bro? Shalom, by the way, Juice Man. All right, it was uncomfortable for me to start this channel and talk to you guys, people I initially didn't know, and then come out here in the public and just talk, okay? That was like weird for me, but it was well worth it. And I'm sure there's something in your life that's a little bit uncomfortable, but it'll be well worth it when you take action towards it, all right? So get out of your comfort zone and be happy. It's worth it. Okay, that's the first thing. Number 2, I want you to tell someone you love them, because you shouldn't go a day without telling someone you love them. You shouldn't waste a moment without telling someone you love them. That's probably the most important one. So guys, do that. I'll start it off. I love you guys. I love each and every one of you. I hope you have an amazing Saturday. I hope you have an amazing weekend. Take advantage of this day or night, wherever you are. I'm Jory Goodman, the time teller. Always remember, I didn't invent time. I just tell it. All right, have a good one, guys.